3, 2, 1, go.
Walking like a man on stilts, I'm falling over. Walking like a man on stilts. Oh my, you got me. Oh my, you got me. Taking it slow. Follow the flow. Making it rain now. Making it rain. Wonder for wonder, I couldn't you be my guardian? Come night now. I never knew love until when you found my heart on the outside. Taking it slow, follow the flow. Making it rain. Making it rain.
The new SpongeBob Parodies V3 just dropped, and in this video, I want to give you the backstory for each version of SpongeBob and also tell you where they originated from. The first character that we're going to start off with is a SpongeBob called Your Boy Sponge. Now, some of you might recognize this name from YouTube because the actual YouTube channel that produces these videos is called Your Boy Sponge. And what we basically see in these videos is SpongeBob rapping, which low-key is actually kind of fire. Now, the content of the songs may vary, like some of them may deal with like gold diggers and why you should stay away from them, while others might just be him rapping about certain parts of his life or doing parodies. All in all, it's some pretty interesting content. It's only been around for about 8 months. Next up on our list, we have Sponge Quan, and just like Your Boy Sponge, he also comes from YouTube. Sponge Quan has a whole series created by a person that has a name similar to Nickelodeon. I'll put it up here. And the episodes basically just shows the life of SpongeBob if he was black, basically. The series is pretty light humored and it's actually pretty funny. Next up on our list is going to be Bounce House SpongeBob, and this one right here looks super creepy, but I think it's actually based off real life inflatable images of SpongeBob. As you can see in this image here, there are inflatable SpongeBobs that actually have the mouth open like that, look creepy. And there's even short videos on YouTube where you can see people actually renting these bounce houses and their kids looking like they're getting devoured by them. I know it's supposed to be cute, but it's actually really creepy. Next up on our list is going to be Ama Squidward, and this one right here is kind of weird because the actual video that it comes from was in Indonesian, so it was kind of hard to pick up everything that was going on, but this is what I understand. So apparently SpongeBob and Patrick want the right to be able to watch whatever naughty content that they want and do whatever they want with that content. Squidward is upset because he feels like they are doing something that is wrong and that is foul, and he wants them to repent for their sins. This is why in the original animation we see Squidward stomping on and breaking all these little anime girl characters, and also chasing Patrick and SpongeBob into their home, begging them to repent. The next characters on our list are Bobby and Bobo, and they're basically knockoff versions of Patrick and SpongeBob, and apparently it was made in Iran, or at least somewhere in the Middle East back in 2018. Now, I assume that the developers here made a knockoff version of Skid and Pump to kind of go with the aesthetic of the knockoff version of SpongeBob and Patrick, but other than that, there isn't a whole lot of information about this particular tune. The next parody is called We Gotta Get SpongeBob Back, and this one is actually a fan-made episode by a YouTuber named Joe. And as the name suggests, in this episode, SpongeBob actually disappears and Squidward doesn't know why, but he knows that he needs to find him. Now, what's interesting about this is that Squidward initially seems to be okay with SpongeBob missing, but then all of a sudden he just starts to panic and knows that he needs to find SpongeBob. This character actually originated on Newgrounds, and the series is basically focused on SpongeBob and Patrick's life. However, the videos seem to be trying to be as crude as possible. The videos have a lot of hidden phallic-shaped objects. We can even see that in the Friday Night Funkin' mod and Boyfriend's Down pose. If you know, you know. There's also a lot of adult-themed content and just gore and vomiting for some reason. In the episode that I was watching, we get to see sharks actually eat some of the fish in Bikini Bottom, and also Patrick and SpongeBob. We get to see Sandy actually overdoses, it seems. And SpongeBob literally attacks another patron walking down the streets and just consumes him right there. Now, there's also some backstory as to why boyfriend and girlfriend are down here. The next parody on our list is going to be Bob Sponge, and this one is interesting because it shows Mr. Krabs and SpongeBob having a discussion where it seems like Mr. Krabs is trying to get SpongeBob to do something that involves him wearing a dress and a bunch of makeup. And SpongeBob makes it clear that he's not comfortable with this because it seems to be some type of trafficking. And then from there, it seems like Mr. Krabs just goes on a little mini rampage because when Patrick walks into the animation, Mr. Krabs literally chops off his head. And then we see Plankton walks in and Mr. Krabs literally eats him. And then out of nowhere, we see that he's wearing Squidward's face. In the actual Friday Night Funkin' mod, we see that Squidward's face is actually replaced with Boyfriend, which implies that in this mod, Mr. Krabs takes out Boyfriend. The next parody that we have on our list is called SpongeBob's Revenge, and this one is interesting because it deals with Patrick basically being rejected by SpongeBob. Patrick calls up SpongeBob to see if he wants to go jellyfishing, and SpongeBob basically tells Patrick to go to hell because he's busy. Now, Patrick doesn't like this, so he decides that he's going to unalive SpongeBob, and he even recruits Squidward to help him do it. But when they get to his house, they actually get into a fight about who gets to shoot him first, and I mean literally a fight. They start to slap each other for some reason. This, of course, leads Patrick to unalive Squidward with a shotgun, and before he's able to go ahead and take out SpongeBob, SpongeBob pulls out a pistol and unalives Patrick. This is also why in the mod we get to see SpongeBob is wielding a gun, and a lot of people have been interested in this white glob that you get to play as in this song. And this figure is basically a reference to the chicken that pops up at the end of the animation after SpongeBob unalives Patrick. You'll also notice that the chicken figure has a mohawk just like this one, and he also has the same type of art style, meaning the stick figure legs and also the stick figure arms. The next parody on our list is going to be Pam Tree SpongeBob. The backstory for this one goes as follows. Squidward is getting ready for bed and he thinks it's going to be a peaceful night because SpongeBob and Patrick are supposed to be out camping. Squidward soon learns that SpongeBob and Patrick are camping, but they're doing it right outside SpongeBob's house, meaning that he can hear everything they're saying and they are being super loud. Squidward goes out to see what the two of them are doing, and he ends up actually joining them on their camping trip. Now, SpongeBob and Patrick starts to sing, and Squidward wants to show them what real music is, so of course he starts to play his clarinet. SpongeBob basically tells him that he can't play that out here because he'll attract sea bears. Squidward wants to prove SpongeBob wrong, so of course he plays his clarinet even louder. And that's when the sea bear, aka Santiago, rises from the ground and consumes Squidward. The animation ends with Squidward playing his clarinet in this black void. Kind of funny. The next parody on our list is going to be Sponge Bong Hemp Pants. The next parody had a lot of controversy around it because even though it did garner a lot of views and it was posted, a lot of people felt that it was racist, and even the original creators have kind of addressed it. This SpongeBob is called SpongeBob in China, and while they did make it with the eyes and a stereotypical accent, they did do is actually Robot Chicken SpongeBob. And this one is interesting because this is when SpongeBob finally figures out how Krabby Patties are made, and more importantly, what's actually in the Krabby Patties. Now, in the actual animation,